the heart of Copenhagen, there's a club that defines its neighborhood as much as the neighborhood defines it. Welcome to B93, where tradition meets innovation and where we are about to embark on an extraordinary journey. Founded all the way back in 1893, B93 isn't just any football club. It's a cultural institution that once dominated Danish football as the legendary Champagne team of the 1930s. But what truly makes this club special isn't just its history, it's its heart. Today, we're starting something unique. We're going back to the essence of football development. No transfer market, no loan deals, just pure, homegrown talent. Our mission? To build a European powerhouse using nothing but our youth academy. In a world full of billion-dollar transfers and super clubs, we're going to do things differently. Here at B93, where the culture is community, we're going to prove that success can be built from within, one young player at a time. Our goals are ambitious. Domestic league titles, cup glory, and maybe, just maybe, European success. But more than that, we're here to build something sustainable, something beautiful, and overall, tell a great story. This is Academy Dreams, Building a Legacy. Welcome to B93, where every champion starts as a dream. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the first official video of this series. Who knows how long the series will be? Who knows when it'll be uploaded? Welcome to hanging out with me. My name's Joey Cannoli. Been playing Football Manager for a lot of years now. I think I first picked it up back in FM 15, FM 14, something like that. As you can tell, I'm an American. I'm a Yankee. So, don't come at me for calling it soccer sometimes. Don't come at me for the pronunciation of the names. But trust, we're going to have fun. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to find some gems. I can't wait to really build this. Me personally, I've never done a youth challenge like this before, so I think it'll be very fun to not use the transfer markets, to not try to get loans, to not try to sign all the wonder kids. We're trying to grow our own wonder kids. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really hoping that you guys kind of enjoy whatever journey we actually get on. So again, the overall goal, we're going to try to climb ourselves out of the second league, which we're in right here. We'll go through the team. I'll show you what we got so far, facilities, key players, all of that good stuff. We'll go over the initial challenge of it all. So the first goal is, of course, to get promotion, whether it's year 1, year 2, whatever it may be. And then, of course, we're going to try to get this club back to where they once were. As you can see, like I was saying in the intro, this team has won 9 Super League titles in Denmark, all the way from 1916 all the way to 1946. And as you can see, that span from about 1927 to the late 1930s, they were untouchable. That's when they won the bulk majority of them, which of course is why they were called the Champagne team, because they just never lost. They were winning league titles after league titles. And then, of course, they have a cup win. So, they do have that. We will try to get them back into all of this. They've also won the second league, and that was not too long ago, about 30 years ago. Now, one more thing to take a look at is our fierce rivals, the local team just down the block from us, FC Copenhagen. As you can see, they are one of the biggest clubs in the country, if not the biggest. That's obviously going to be who we're going to try to overtake in the long run. Of course, who knows? But I'm looking to some very good rivalry games when it comes to it. I can't wait to see what we can produce. As you can see, the facilities aren't bad. The youth recruitment's not great. It's only 2 stars. Training facilities are 3 stars. Youth facilities are actually 3.5. So overall, not a bad starting point. It could be a lot worse. It's not bad at all. As you see, the bank balance, we got almost $2 million in the bank. Not really concerned about it because, again, we don't need much of a transfer budget. As you can see, I put it all into payroll. Now, obviously, we're not going to be signing free players either. What we are doing is everyone that's on the team can stay on the team. If any of these players go out of contract, we can offer these people new deals. But we're not going to go dip into the transfer market. So everybody that's currently here will be here. We're not going to, kick them to the curb once their contract is up, unless, of course, they're just not good enough anymore or they retire or whatever that may be. But that's the goal. So we're not ever going to touch the transfer market. We're not going to have loans. We're not going to do none of that stuff. We're going to have to make our money through, sadly, selling young players as they come through so we can reinvest into the facilities. And of course, getting into competitions, whether it be European or finishing high in the league and getting prize money, things like that. Now, some other things, I guess, this is very new. So I haven't made YouTube videos in a very long time. I was never very consistent with it. So, I'm just diving in. You know, there's no face cam. There could be in the future. I have a pretty crappy little webcam. I could use my phone. It is what it is. But for now, I didn't want to keep thinking about how to do it. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to dive in. So I'm sorry if this is a little maybe slow. I'm sorry if this isn't the production value that other people have. But again, I just wanted to make it. I love playing Football Manager. I love doing saves that are very long and they span for, 10, 15 years because I get connected to all the players. You know, whether it's a regen, whether it's somebody you signed in your first or second season. That's the thing that I love about this game, is being able to build those stories, being able to follow those storylines. So I think I wanted to do something like this that's unique. I know it's been done before. I don't mean unique like it's brand new, but, unique where it's a cool challenge, it's a fun team, it's in a fun league, and more importantly, I think we're going to have some cool stories that you guys can hopefully follow along and also enjoy. So now that I'm done yapping, I can't speak. Anyway, like I said, there's the facilities. They're not bad. We can definitely have some people come through. And speaking of people come through, let's go ahead and take a look at the team, starting off with Mikael Moritz. Now again, don't hate me for my pronunciations. I can barely speak English, let alone pronounce other people's names. So, anyway, as you can see, this man himself, the current club captain, came through the youth academy all the way back in 2012. Now, he did spend a few seasons with Nordsjælland, but he never made an appearance for them. So we're just going to, we're not going to really count that against him. He only has played professional ball for us, B93, and as you can see, he has 171 appearances. Now, the kind of down news about him is he's only good for the second division. And to show you guys what the overall landscape of Denmark looks like, for those of you who maybe haven't played here, the top flight is the Superliga. The second flight, which is where we are at, is the Nordic Bet Liga. And then second division is third division is fourth. I know that makes no sense, but that's what it is. So, back to Mikael. The current club captain is only good for the third division, but again, we can't go into the transfer market. We can't go switch it up. Work with what you got. So currently our number 8, our current club captain, he's going to be getting a lot of game time. And to be fair, he's not terrible. I do hate that he hates playing in big matches. That's not fun. I don't like that at all. But he's not bad. He's got a decent first touch. He can pass pretty well. He's a really strong penalty taker for some unknown reason. I just wish he had more in the mentals, especially when it comes to his determination, because I would love for him to actually be a leader, because he is only 27. We could get a couple years out of him. Now, speaking of a superstar, speaking of someone that also came through the academy way back in 2007, this absolute unit came through the academy. And just like Mikael, he took the same route. He left us on a free, which I don't know why, but B93 had a thing of letting their young talents go for free, and for some reason always to Nordsjælland. So it looks like they were way down in the amateur divisions of Denmark back in this time, 2007. And as you can see, he did make actual appearances for Nordsjælland, played a lot in the top flight, the Superliga, and then even made a move to the Prim. So some of you guys out there might even remember this guy from playing in Aston Villa. He's out here making about 40 so appearances for him, and then he comes back to Denmark, makes a big move, and then has been spending his last 3 seasons in China. So he just came back to his hometown club, to his boyhood club, and now he's going to finally make his first pro appearance for us. Now, as you can see, he's only got a 1-year deal. He's getting paid pretty hefty for this division, but you can see why. Our coaches are over here saying that he's a good player for the top flight, which is going to be huge for us. He's 6 foot, extremely strong, also extremely fast, especially for being 31 and in this division. And then just look at these. He is an aggressive center back, very brave. I think we can get him to knock in a few headers off some set pieces, maybe even if we're in desperation mode. You never know. I might have to get crafty and throw bro up to play striker or something, but hey, that'll be found out later. But anyway, he's very, very good. Really good marking and tackling. His heading is not the best, but it's not terrible, especially for where we're at. Now, the only thing I'm worried about with him is if he actually has bad injury problems. Again, he is 31. He's probably coming to a close in his career, but I would love for us to be able to keep Okore and, be able to let him retire with his boyhood club. So that's the goal. We want to keep him around as long as possible. and really see if we can get as much out of him as we can. But for the next key player, it's going to be another 31-year-old Nico Thompson. Now, in real life, I read a lot about this club, and a fun story about Nico is, as you can see, he had a long career in the Superliga, made a move to France, and then came back. And he also had a cap for the national team. Apparently around this time when he was in Norway, if I'm remembering this correctly from the articles I read, and of course if the articles were right, apparently he was he was flip-flopping if he was going to retire or not. He was kind of done with the game and all this. And in real life, he came to B93 when they were in the 3rd division and helped them get promoted. As you can see, his first year with us, he had 10 goals in 23 games, was a pivotal part in their promotion back to now where we are in the 2nd division. Now, something else that's fun about Nico is he plays a big role for the club also behind the scenes. He helps the branding, he helps the community outreach, all of this stuff, because just like I said in the intro, I didn't make any of that up. This club is very, very much so rooted in their community. They're rooted in trying to make sure that, everyone around the city is connected to the club and that the club can help the city. So I really like Nico. I think he's got a great story. And of course, as you can see, he's actually a baller for this team. Wow, I probably shouldn't have cussed. I forgot I'm on YouTube. But anyway, I'll probably, blur that out or whatever. But anyway, he's a very, very well-rounded player. He's leading for this division, which our coaches say. But I think we can get out of him also until he retires. Again, he's only on a 1-year deal. I'm really, really going to try to keep him around until he wants to hang it up. As you can see, the bad news about him is his physicals are essentially gone. He's got some stamina left in the tank, but everything else, it's all 9s and 10s. He ain't really pushing much when it comes to, pace, strength, nothing like that. But he's like a Swiss Army knife. If we need him, we can throw him back at right back. We can throw him at left back. Hell, we can throw him anywhere besides playing all the way back at center back. Now let's take a look at a couple other players, and this is where, let's just say, this is where things get tricky. We have a lot of wingers, not a lot of strikers, but I think I'm going to play a wingerless formation. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, Andreas is another kid that he's 21. He's only had 12 pro appearances in his career, and he joins us on a free, and he's on a 2-year deal for not a lot of money. So I think we can turn him into a decent player. For this division, he's good. I think he can make a move up and play decent for us when we do get promoted. He's got enough about him in his pace. He's got enough about him in his little, golden trio right here of dribbling, finishing, and first touch to be a good striker. So we're going to see what we can get out of him. But anyway, as we go on, you'll learn more about these players. You'll learn more about the club and all that stuff. I don't want to sit here for 30 minutes and show you everybody. The last one I will show you is the current hot prospect of this team, which, remember, that's what we're going to be trying to build around. So this is 19-year-old Julius Voldby, JV right here. He's another striker, kind of winger, but of course we're going to be playing him up top. His dribbling's not the best. That's what we're going to be really focusing on. He's got a lot of pace, 14 pace, 14 agility, 13 acceleration. His mentals, again, aren't the best, but he's a 19-year-old. But as you can see right here, this is why we're probably going to be giving him a lot of game time, whether it's starting or whether it's, playing as much as we can off the bench. Right now, he's decent for this division. I know it says he's good for the 2nd division, but honestly, I think we can squeeze it out of him. And right here on paper, he's our 2nd best striker. So to be honest, we're going to be playing him a lot. We're going to be trying to make sure he can reach this potential, because if we can turn him into a Super League player, that's going to be huge for us. So this is our current, I guess, star pupil that we're going to be building around. A 19-year-old Julius Voldby. We're going to be making sure we can get every ounce of potential out of that man. Now, for the way that this series will run, I like the idea of long-form saves. I like the idea of us having 45-minute, maybe hour-long minute videos where obviously we're not watching every single game. I do want to show highlights. I do want to keep you guys up. I'm not going to just simulate the whole year and then come back to you and show you when the year's done. I think what I'm going to do is I'll play some games. I'll come back to you guys after a few months, catch up with what's going on, look at stats, show you what the league standings are. Maybe we'll look at some past highlights. And then, of course, when we get deeper in the save or later in the years, let's say we have a big game that's going to be close to a promotion. Of course, I'm going to show you the full game of that with commentary from me, all that stuff. Maybe we're in a cup final or a cup run or something like that. Same thing. I would like to show those games and actually have the commentary going for you. So for year 1, we're probably going to breeze through it. I'll probably come back to you guys in a few months. We'll catch up about a third of the way through, see what we're doing. And then, of course, the big thing is every year in March for Denmark, we will have our youth intake. So that is going to be our real big thing in this first episode. We're going to come back, check out what youth that we have through in our very first intake, because those people are going to be crucial. Just like I was saying earlier about Julius, whoever on this team has any potential, we're going to be throwing them in so much so we can make sure that they improve, even if they're not the best, even if they're not going to be great for us. Like even this kid, Ole Jacobson, he ain't amazing, as you can see. Honest to God, he doesn't have anything going for him besides he's a decent little winger. But we're going to have to give him game time, because even if he doesn't become a superstar for us, maybe we can get enough out of him where we can make some money off of him. Because again, the only way we're making money is people that we develop. And then we can use that money to, again, reinvest into our facilities. Because as you can see, we need to bump up the youth recruitment. We need to bump up the facilities. We need to bump up the training. Everything's got to go up. At the end of the save, hopefully, we can have like state-of-the-art facilities everywhere. We're pumping out people left and right. But yeah, that's the goal. I think for now, like I said, I plan on showing you guys, coming back to you guys probably just in a few months here when we are a little bit deeper into the first season. We'll show you guys the stats and how everybody's running, how everybody's performing. But before we do that, here are, I think, some of the formations that we're going to attempt to start out with. So currently, don't worry about who's in where, because again, we just played our little friendly against ourselves. So you don't have to worry about who was playing where. We played our second team. It is what it is. So I'm thinking of a formation like this. Really simple, but I don't want to use a lot of wingers. Now, of course, these tactics could change. I'm not going to force people to play in different positions, because let's say that one year we get an absolute stud of a winger come through our intake. Of course, I'm going to let him play. We're going to play to his advantage. Another option is going to be this, a little bit of a 4-2-2-2 box. I enjoy this. These two kind of act like wingers, but they're more just straight up 10s, and they help join the attack. Of course, the DMs kind of sit back, and it allows for these wingbacks to get way up, and they also contribute as wingers. Now, of course, if we do want to run wingers, I want to stick away and stay away from the traditional 4-2-3-1. And I think if we do end up running wingers, I'm going to do something like this. And maybe, just maybe, we use this anyway for when we start getting into European competitions and have a little bit more safety and security. Maybe we can turn this a little bit more defensive and kind of be able to drop back in the 5-back. So for now, here's where we're at. These are the three formations that we're going to first start with, but that's enough yapping. We are going to catch back up with you guys probably sometime around the winter, September, maybe the fall, but somewhere between September and December, we will come back and we will see what's going on. Last thing, we do play 22 games in the league. For those of you that do not know, we play 22 games, and then as you see, it splits. It splits into either the relegation or the promotion stage. So we're hoping that we can sneak into the promotion stage. One other thing, I'm sorry for how out of order all of this is, but one other thing is here is the season preview. As you can see, the experts have us picked as 9th, so it's not the best, but it's not terrible. As you can see in the team of the season, in the preseason, we do have Okore as one of the best center backs in the entire league. So that is our stud, that's our rock, that's who we're going to really, really be trying to rely on a lot. But as I said, we're going to be trying to make sure it happens. 1 and 2 go up. You never know. Crazier things can happen. We might end up being able to go for it first year. I'm really hoping by at least the second season we can get promoted back to the Superliga. So now finally, without any more yapping, I'll see you guys when I see you back in the fall and winter, and we'll catch back up. All right, welcome back. September 29th of the first season. As you can see, we are 10 games in. Before I hop in and show you guys what we're looking like about a third of the way into the season, I completely forgot to set my video resolution to 4K on the recording. So first half of the little bit of the video, it's going to be in 1080. Don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just wanted to do it. So, why stop? But anyway, as you can see, we are currently sitting third in the Bettliga League 2, the second division. I don't know why I said League 2, but you know what I mean. We're one under the Superliga. So not too bad. Remember, we were projected to finish further down in this way around the 9 spot. We started out flying, as you can see. We were really going nuts, and then we caught up a little bit of a bad streak. But the real news is no one's catching OB. Now, they did just get relegated, so it makes sense, but they have not dropped a loss yet. They only have dropped points in one, having one draw. Now, they're 10 points ahead, so it's possible, but the real thing we're going to be trying to fight for is the number 2 spot, because like I showed you guys in the beginning, number 1 and 2 go up automatically. Now, as you can see, Andreas is going crazy playing striker for us. He is absolutely going nuts. He is just playing out of his mind. 7 goals, 3 assists in 10 games. So literally 10 goal contributions in all 10 of his matches, averaging almost a 7.5. We've got him playing up top as striker, and his newest strike partner is Emeka Namani. Naturally a winger, but like I said earlier, I don't think we're going to run wings unless, of course, the youth, one of our youth intakes gives us a crazy winger. And speaking of, we have been running with mainly this tactic right here. As you can see on the season, one of our star boys, Nico, he's got 3 goals, 2 assists in the league, averaging over a 7. Everyone's playing well. The bad news is, so far, we got a lot of the older guys already declining. Nico's 31. As you can see, his physicals are going down. Okore, who's our star player, who's still who's still touted as a good player for the Superliga, you can see a lot of his things are going down. Physicals, of course, we expect. He's 32. But I don't like to see his technicals already starting to drain too. So hopefully, at the very least, we can keep the 3 big ones in his defensive, heading, marking, tackling on the up. Because, of course, we can't sign anybody else. I would like to keep most of the players around that we can because, as you can see, we're playing pretty well. So, again, just wanted to do a little brief catch-up 10 games in. We did play our first big rivalry game against Copenhagen. But, of course, as they are one of the top clubs in all of Denmark, let alone the top flight, they did rout us 3-0. It was not meant to be. It was not meant to be. But for now, we will probably catch up close to the youth intake, if not the youth intake. To be honest, that's probably when I'll check back in with you guys. Until then, I'll catch you guys back just here in a little bit. Ooh, boy. We are back March 25th, 12 games after I last left you guys. And as you can see, the league has now split. We made it into that top half group, the promotion group, and we are sitting in second. Now, of course, just like I mentioned earlier, probably not a shot we can catch OB. They've still only lost 1 match this entire season. As you can see, we've lost 6. Excuse me, I apparently got the hiccups. But it's going to be a very, very tight battle to see if we can keep this second position and get that automatic promotion in our first time asking. Now, the real reason that we're here, I saw it briefly. It's the youth intake. And let me tell you, it looked amazing. So let's dive into it together right now. As you can see, Henrik, the boy that we were just talking about, he says that it's got the potential to make a golden generation. And as you can see, I don't think he's lying. Again, as this is a save where we can only use players that come through the intake, I know a lot of the time, you guys in our own saves, we really don't think too much about these guys. Maybe even sometimes these guys, we're really only looking out for the 5-star potentials. And boy, God, can I not wait to look at this guy. I have waited to actually click on any one of these guys until, I wanted to turn on my camera. Well, not the camera, but turn on the recording. It's currently 2 a.m. for me right now. So I was just grinding through a little bit of the season, playing some more games, getting into the promotion stage. And I knew that it was going to be coming up, but I honestly thought it would be tomorrow when I, get back on to play a little bit in the afternoon. But I was too excited. I had to record it, and I can't wait to go through it. So let's just go ahead and dive in. I'm not going to make you guys wait. Let's just go ahead and check out the very first one. I know that the one, God damn, oh, he looks so good. All right, Kasper Voss. Oh my God. Okay, we might have just got a very, very good striker off the bat. Okay, so he's good for the 2nd division, which is technically the 3rd when you're looking at the scale of things. So he's good for the division just below us, which, to be honest, on paper, they already have him listed as my 4th best striker. So that's a lot. But I mean, look at these stats. He's 15 and a young 15. He doesn't turn 16 until October, which is 7 months from now. Wow, actually, his birthday is Halloween. That's crazy. Okay, we might have to make that a nickname. Realistically, wow, he's actually just as good as he is at midfield as he is at striker, and I can see why. You know, his physicals aren't the best, but as we all know, for those of you that have played FM for a while, the physicals are the traits of these youngsters that usually develop the most. He's resilient, which is great. Really, really great determination at 17. And look at this. You know, he's brave. Look at the 18 bravery. Of course, all of this stuff is good. This is what we also want to see, consistency. So I think we might have something here in Casper. Really good dribbling for a 15-year-old, of course. Finishing first touch, also insane. But I mean, look at these. 15 passing, 16 technique, 13 teamwork, 13 vision, 14 flair. I really think this could be a kid that we could have as a club starter at the age of 15. Now, again, because we can't sign other people, he's getting game time as quick as we can because it will help his progression. And honestly, like I said, he could play wherever we need him. He obviously isn't going to be the greatest in the midfield as of now, unless we can play him in a little bit more of an attacking role. But I mean, he could do it anywhere. So yeah, Casper's going to be getting some game time. Also, we're going to be making sure that we can try to be a little scummy in their contracts. First of all, everybody's getting a, pro contract, of course, but then we're going to be putting in optional contract extensions everywhere and make sure that they, don't get tempted to go to places. And if they do, that's tough. We're not in the business of selling you. All right, Michael Grieve, a winger, which remember, we don't run wings, but we definitely could if we find some gems. Okay, overall, another really nice, solid player. The consistency isn't the greatest. It is what it is. The DS level is actually the non-league level. But again, he's a 15-year-old. Not everybody's going to be a Casper in our first intake. What I do like about him, though, is already how fast he is at a 15-year-old. 14 acceleration, 13 pace, decent determination. We definitely want to make sure we can see 10s plus when it comes to that. Honestly, it looks like he's probably going to be an out-and-out winger, but the 16 passing really stands out. I don't think he'll ever really have the makings of being an out-and-out striker. He's got the pace. To be honest, the Holy Trinity right here, they're all 9, so they're not far away. But regardless, Michael's a nice prospect that, again, he will be getting game time when we can just because we want to see these kids develop. Now, next up, Thomas Sogard. Another really good looking prospect right here at 15. What we don't like is personality being fickle. Actually, speaking of, I don't think I checked Michael's. Balanced. Okay, not bad. So back to Thomas. Fickle, again, currently good for the non-league, but we're not really worried about current. We do like to see that he's very consistent, extremely consistent. His determination's not bad though. So 12 is good. If we can get him into some good development habits, we'll get him into some good mentoring. He could even change this personality, even to balance would be great. Another play that's really versatile, which is fantastic. He could play on the right wing if we need. He can also play up top, which so far everybody in the elite talents can play striker, which is very interesting. I think obviously this one is more of a straight up midfielder, which is nice. Good passing. His mentals obviously need the most work, and that physicals come along with it. But again, physicals naturally over time, as they start getting up towards 18, 19, 20, you'll start seeing those go up naturally. Mentals are the hardest ones to kind of make sure we can grow and, mold in the right way. But he's got the tools. I think he can do it. And I think we have a really good batch on our hand first. All right, last but not least in the elite talents, another striker in Jesus. Okay. Honestly, he might be better. I know they're not listing him as the better current ability than Casper, but Michael Harlev looks like he is the current better player simply because of this mixed with the golden trio right here. So another 15-year-old, fairly loyal. Again, a young prospect right here. Doesn't turn 16 until October, so again, another 7 months. But I mean, look at him if we're just simply looking at a striker. Left-footed, already shoots with power, which is great. He's very consistent again, which is fantastic. Determination's low. That's going to be his biggest downfall. Realistically, we probably only may ever see it go up to about 8. So, it's not the worst, but it's not the best. But again, let's go back to what's great about him. So 6'3", especially up top, that's going to be fantastic. And again, physical's already going nuts. 13 pace, 13 acceleration, 13 balance, 13 jumping, 12 agility. Honestly, he's also not just left-footed. He's decent with his right foot, so that's always great. Aggressive, which is nice from a striker. Very good work rate, which is also nice for a striker. But then here are some other things that, to me, stand out for such a young prospect. Already 11 off the ball. Decent when it comes to decisions and composure, which usually those are big ones, especially about young strikers. Now, anticipation is not the best. It is what it is. We can focus on that. And then moving on to his technicals, he's kind of crazy already. Like if we look at our current star striker, right? The guy who's got 13 goals and 19 with 6 assists. So total, he's got 19 goal contributions in the same amount of games this season in this division. Look at his dribbling and first touch and finishing, all 12s, and his technique, 13. Now compare it to the brand new kid that we have that's 15. Now I'm not saying clearly, I'm not delusional. I'm not saying that this kid, Michael, is better already than, Andreas, who's, clearly our superstar, right? Excuse me, hitting my mic. I'm very excited right now at 2 a.m. But I mean, just look, we got a real player here on our hands, I think, with him. 14, 13, 14 for dribbling, first touch, finishing, mixed with 15 technical at 6'3" with this pace. Yeah, it's raps. He is for sure going straight to the first team because, again, these kids need as much game time as they can get, especially considering these two could be the future of B93. Okay, so those are the first 4. All elite talents, according to Henrik, and I can't really disagree with him. Now, again, like I was saying earlier, I know a lot of the times in our saves, sometimes you don't really care about all this. And now I'm not going to sit here and bore you with all of them, but I do want to look at a couple, especially right here with Renee and right here with Kim. One, because they're positions that we are going to need in the future, because as we just looked at, these are all attacking players. 3 of the 4 can play striker. Honestly, all 4 of them can play striker. We got 1 midfielder and 1 winger, but as of right now, we're not running wings. So we need to make sure that we can produce every position. It's not just 1 year, great, we got a good striker, now we got to make it to the next year. Nope, we got to make sure that we can produce a handful of people, everywhere. So Kim Heimer, he is a 16-year-old goalie, 6'3" standing, which is fantastic. Already pretty good agility, 2-footed, which is something, really consistent. Hopefully this isn't super accurate. Let's hope that he doesn't get very injured. But again, I can see a player in here, at a goalkeeper, of course, as we all know, keepers can tend to develop well into their early 20s, if not mid-20s. All in all, he'll be a decent shot stopper for when we do need it, because again, we're going to need it. And as much as it may hurt in the short term, we're going to have to give these kids a lot of game time so they can develop and so they can grow. Because of course, we're not really going to be at a position to loan a lot of people out, especially in the beginning. Now, let's take a look at the other one I wanted to take a look at. What's his name? Renee Bertelson. Good name. All right. So again, things I don't like to see, unambitious, but he's mixed that with good determination. So maybe we can, again, get him into some mentoring, get that trained out. A good, consistent performer, which is nice. 15, again, a really late birthday for him. So he'll be 15 for a while. So again, we'll get a lot of development out of him. He already stands 6'2", which again is very nice. I don't know why on earth he is curling the ball from the, center back position, but hey, apparently he fancies himself, even though he's got no flair and barely any technique. Technique's not that bad. Anyway, though, getting off topic, I think he could be decent. Again, already 6'2". He's got great tackling. Heading and marking are at 10, positioning's at a 9. Pretty good mentals to go along with it at 15. 11 aggression, really brave. Like we said earlier, pretty good determination. His physicals aren't also bad for being so young. The strength is what we're going to really have to work on. His jumping's already good. His balance is good. That's fantastic. And his pace and acceleration aren't far from from double digits already. So again, I can see someone in him. And again, we're going to have to do that with everybody. So that is the very first youth intake that is going to lay the foundation for us here at B93 and be the future, if not the immediate future. And as we're here, just like I was mentioning earlier, we have made it into the promotion stage. So we have 10 games left. And those 10 games are going to be absolutely excruciating if we're being honest here. Because like I said, we're not catching OB. You know, they're 19 points ahead. That ain't happening. They're not dropping anytime soon. I mean, they have a 34 goal differential on this poor second division. They are just dominating. But we are 3 points ahead in second place. And that is, I think, where we need to make sure that we can do as much as we can. And like I was pointing out, brother, even all the way down here at 6, they're only 9 points away from us. So this, number 2 to number 6, that is where our battle is going to lie. And as you can see, we start off against OB away. So that's not going to look good. And then, of course, since we're in the promotion stage, none of the games are easy. You know, whether it's the 6th all the way to the 1st, we're all here for a reason. And it's going to be a battle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play these games. If something comes down to a last week game where maybe us against Vindivisel have to be so close that maybe that game determines who gets promotion in the second place, of course, I'm going to cut to it and we'll be playing a live commentary game right along with it. But if all things go good without that, I'm going to catch up with you guys once the season is over and we will see if we are getting promoted. We will see the brand new faces that we're going to put in. Who knows? You might even see what their stats look like for 10 games, because I can assure you a few of these people from this section for sure are going to get some game time. And speaking of it, before I cut, let's look at some player stats, but more importantly, like I was just saying, how the last 10 games are going to be so important. Terrible news. Our superstar, the 32-year-old who was from here but never made an appearance until this season, the player that's good for the top flight, 32 years old. As you can see, he's been a rock for us just like we thought he would. Terrible news, though, is that just a few games back, you know, it happens. He's 32. It happens. Now, not only is he going to miss the rest of the season, because, of course, he could be out for as long as 3 months, and it's a broken hip. The bad news is, as you can already see, the decline is going to be even more rapid. Now, of course, I don't think that's going to hinder us. I think we're going to sign him back unless he's going to want some insane wages, because we can't go anywhere else in the transfer market. So we need to keep who we can as long as we can and as long as they can perform. Now, another notable injury is Morsberg, who, again, another kid that is a homegrown B93 till he dies type player that we're going to have a lot of. He's been playing well for us again. Been playing a lot in the midfield. Nothing fancy when it comes to his contributions, but he's rocking a 7.09, almost a 7.1. But again, take a look at this injury. Just happened recently. Again, another hip, and he's out for almost 2 months. So going into our final 10 games of the season, we are missing 2 key important players. As you can see here, we lead the league with goals scored, 49 and 22. Our defense is where we kind of slump off a little bit, but that's not really the brand of football we're looking to play anyway, so I'm not too mad at that. As you can see, Andreas is leading the league in Golden Boot so far with 13, tied for it with one of the OB's guys. And then Namani, who we decided to give the start to about 5-6 games in, has really been a great strike partnership up top together. They're everywhere in goals. They're everywhere in average assists. And then when it comes to shutouts, we do have Falksgaard, who is in third, but as you can see, it is way off the lead. OB just has a phenomenal back line, a phenomenal defense, but you expect that from a team who just got relegated. Anyway, like I was saying 5 minutes ago, we will be back at the end of the season, if not before that, potentially a live commentary for a juicy end of the season game if it decides promotion or staying a second season down in the Betliga. So I'll see you guys back here just in a few minutes. Get ready. And boy, I can't wait to see how these new generations perform. See you then. Okay, welcome back. About 2 months after we last touched base for the youth intake, as you can see on the screen, a lot has changed. What we last talked about in the last little, check-in was not only the brand new youth academy and the very first youth intake of this very long save, but we had the final 10 games remaining in the promotion group. Now, as you can see, we got the faces on all the new players. We'll go over that probably after, because we have something insanely important coming up. We have one match left, and as you can see, we are currently in the driver's seat. We control our fate. Recent form is shaky. We have more injuries again. It's going to be tough, boys. It's going to be tough. So, like we said earlier, there was no catching OB. They got crowned champions weeks ago. You know, they're almost 20 points clear. They're going back up 100%. Funny enough, the team that we're playing on the very last match day is none other than Vindivissel, who are currently tied with us on 53 points. We are at home. We're going to be at the Oosterbro Stadium. It's going to be an absolute cinematic ending to year one. Hopefully, we can go up promoted. Even though when we started the save, I just wanted to finish around 5th, 4th, and have something to build off of. But now here we are, and I'm going to be devastated if we don't go up. As you can see so far this season, most recently, we lost to them 2-1. The time before that, we beat them 3-0. And the first meeting of the season, we lost 2-1. So overall, we're 2-1. Well, reverse that. We're 1-2 against them on the season. Now, before we hop into this, one piece of bad news besides the injuries is I mistakenly said that all of these new kids from the youth intake would be getting some game time already in year one. I completely forgot that in the Danish second division at the very least, and I think it's the same for the top flight, as you see, most of them are ineligible. You can't play in the Betliga, which is what division we're in right now, unless you're 16 or older. And as most of them came through as 15-year-olds, they can't play yet. And just look, Casper Voss, who was our star pupil, he is listed as our 5th best player on the team. 5th. He's already touted as a Betliga standard player at 15 years old. He would have been so nice to have, especially for this promotion push, but alas, we don't have it. And of course, Harlev, a few others that we could definitely use. The only one that we could use on paper right now is Kim, but you know, he's a little bit of a longer term project. Anyway, we'll touch on this after. We have something important afoot. We have the final game of the season. It's going to be, again, at home, Oosterbro Stadium against third place Vindivissel. We are tied with them on 53 points each. Last game, not only did we have to build and play off of all these injuries, we also had 3 people suspended. We do have some huge news, though. First of all, let's get rid of a few of these people. We're going to build the lineup right here with you guys live. The piece of good news is Okore, our captain, well, vice captain. I think I just made that up, actually. He's neither. He's just our key player. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okore, who I showed you guys last time, had a month-long, hip injury. As you can see, he only made 19 appearances, and we are 32 games in now. So he's missed half the season. Not only is he finally back, and it should be fit enough to play 45 minutes, we're going to probably have to throw him in there because this is all gas, no brakes. We need to get promoted. But more importantly, he currently has an offer on the table from us for 2 extended years. So that would be huge if we can bring him back. The injury didn't set him back as much as I thought, and he's still touted as a good player for the top flight. And I can tell you, at center back, we're going to need that help. The man that will miss the final is our star midfielder, Nico Thompson. He got injured about 2 weeks back. He's going to be out the rest of the season. This is his second long-term injury of this first season, as you can see. The one he had earlier set him back 4 weeks. Now he's currently on a 3-week injury. So not a great year when it comes to injury-wise. And of course, again, he's another player getting up there in age, 32. We did just offer him a new deal because, again, we need the players. We can't go into the transfer market. You guys know the deal. And he can play everywhere. At the very least, he's a great little, player on the bench that can come in and be a little spark plug. As you can see, though, he had a good year. 10 goal contributions in 27 games. It's not bad at all. But he will miss tonight's very, very final game. It's going to be heartbreaking that that's the case. Also, while I'm sitting here building the lineup, yapping to you guys, since this is the first video, right? And we're going to clearly have a lot of changes throughout all of this. Please tell me, for the 10 of you that are going to be watching, please tell me in the comments if you want to see different things, if you want to see something that I haven't been showing, if you want to see more about player development, if you want to see more about the back end stuff, whatever you guys want to see, or even if you want to see more gameplay or whatever, let me know. Because I would be happy to show you guys everything that you want. As you can see with our center backs, which is why I was talking about so important about Okore, is the young people we've given time to. Like so, he has been getting 15 games and he's averaging a 6.6. He has been dreadful, kind of just having to play a lot because Okore's been out. And again, we're trying to develop all the youth, regions or not. So we're in for it. We're in for it. This is going to be a tough final game battle. We'll see you guys on the pitch. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. There's the 11, just like I said. It's going to be tough. Some of you guys may have noticed that Julius Voldby is back starting up top. Now, we did start the season starting him at striker. He made it about 10 games before I had to pull the plug because he was not getting anywhere close to finding the back of the net. And we had Nemani. Now, Nemani got injured and ended up losing his spot. He was only injured for about 2 weeks, but Voldby in those 2 weeks has really started to find his form. So he has been staying up top with Andreas Bredel, who is, of course, our superstar up top, number 19. So here we go. Some of the things we have to really work on next year is we need to start getting some new, honestly, new everything, of course, but the back line and the midfield need help badly. So all those young kids that have any ounce of potential, they're going to be up there. I can assure you, they're going to be getting a lot of game time next year, hopefully in the Superliga. As you guys can see, we are wearing the classic white kits with the blue bottoms, and we are playing Vindivisu, who are in the all blue. So we are in the white B93, starting off on a slow start, to be honest with you guys. 13 minutes in, not seeing much of anything going on right now. Coming up on 20 minutes, and there's been a total of 5 shots, only 2 of them on target. We are dominating possession, which for as most that I've been, our star man with the free kick, okay, not his specialty, but we do get a corner out of it. Can we make something happen in the first half? Maybe off a set piece. I don't care how we score it. Let's just see if we can do it. Ooh, good delivery, honest. Good delivery. We've probably banged in, I'd say safely, about 4 or 5 goals from corners this season. We've been pretty good at it. I've tried to make sure we can at least capitalize where we can since we don't have the best team. Oh my God, what a save. Holy God, Fauxgaard absolutely stretching to make sure he keeps it out of the net, but they're still on the attack. Now I'm getting nervous, boys. I'm getting very nervous here. Kusk whips it in. Hendrickson nicely heads it away, but they're going to still be dangerous here. This is going to be a challenge. Everyone's looking a little gassed already. I don't love to see it. Make that interception. Nice. All right. Heimer makes the interception. Now Voldby is off. Could be a counter here. We got to hope Voldby keeps possession. He's doing pretty well. Goes back. Morsberg's there. Heimer back. The fullback's flanking down there, but he gives it back to JV. Off the bar. Off the top bar. Are we serious? Okay, Morsberg. My God. Okay. Now that was a possession. Jesus. They almost had a couple shots. That all started with an insane save by Fauxgaard, who's been, honestly, for as bad as our back line has been, especially the last 3 months that, Okore's been out, Fauxgaard has been a superstar back there in net. He had 2 games in the promotional stage where he won man of the match. We beat OB, one of them 1-0 after they already won the title. As I'm speaking of him, look at that. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Absolutely being a unit in the net, standing firm between the sticks. All right, let's defend this corner. Good. Let's keep defending. Come on, boys. We got 10 minutes till halftime. Another save by Fauxgaard. As I was telling you guys about how much of a stud he has been, he is potentially having another man of the match performance right here tonight when we need him the most. Oh my God, a diving header by Voldsby. That's our 19-year-old striker, ladies and gentlemen, that I was just talking about, who sadly hit the top bar earlier. So far, we're kind of getting into the groove of the game, but it is feeling like a game where both teams know promotion is on the line. Now, I don't want to be this guy. Excuse my mic sound. I was moving the arm back over to my mouth, but I don't want to be this guy. But the Danish second division works off of goal differential if it's a tie. And we have a 7 goal differential lead over Vindivisu. So even if we do only end up in a draw, Jesus, Heimer, why were you even attempting that? You don't have that in your locker, kid. Anyway, as I was saying, if we end in a draw, we will still be going up. But I don't want to go up on a draw. I want to go up on a win. I want to score goals. That is the point of the formation that we've been using most of the season. This little 4-1-3-2 where we have the two strikers just running. The two strikers are going for it. We're going to be kind of lumping it long. Terrible pass, but I can't expect much from our back line. I'm going to give it about 10 minutes before I sub in Okore. I don't want to be out here nail biting for a draw. Because the problem is, right, if we're sitting on 0-0, quick math, but it only takes them one to win, and we lose promotion here. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want to go up 1-0, and then if they come back later, well, they come back later. It's also 2:30 in the morning again as I'm recording this one, so I'm extra fried. It's late as hell, but I'm vibing. Oh my God, he's wide open. Oh my God, he's getting sacrificed. Oh my God, he's getting sent to orbit. We're just going to change up a couple things. We're going to time waste a little bit, and we're going to slow the pace down when we get the ball. I don't want to park the bus. Oh my God, did I just... Falksgard again. Oh my God, brother. He's up for a new contract, and I swear to God, if we win this game because of him, I'm giving him another 2-year deal. You're him, my friend. They're going for a corner. Okay, we keep it up, but they're keeping it back on the attack. That's a good cross. Oh, Namani makes a good header to get it out. 3 minutes, boys. 3 minutes. They're going to take a long shot. Okay, actually, we congested nice around him. Okay, it's a good cross. Oh my God. It's a big guy. Who is that? That guy looks like he's 6'6". Okay, 88th minute. Let's waste the clock or whip one in. Oh my God, that was a dirty cross, of course, by Moeller, who I told you guys is him this season. We'll look at the stats afterwards. We'll do a season recap, win or loss. We'll take a look again at all the youth boys, talk about next year's plans, and then we will go from there. Moritz. Oh my, what an insane tackle. That didn't even look good. Ooh, Moeller. Ooh. 6 minutes of extra time. What is this? Did they pay them? Oh my God, Moeller again off the bench making an impact. He kind of clears it, but not really. Okay, every striker, I need you to drop back and start playing D mid, please. Holy God, we got caught off. No way that's onside, right? Falksgard again. How was that onside? And then how did they squander that? Falksgard getting a pinky tip on it, and then we have another corner. 92nd minute of stoppage time. Please, God. Okay, it's out, but it's in, but it's out. Oh my God, Falksgard went to the ground and Okore just cleared it. Guys, I am stressed. My hands are running through my... Nah. Falksgard again makes another save. A terrible header, but a save's a save. 92nd minute, again, another corner. I am about to have a panic attack, a heart-stopping whatever. Look at the guy crowding the keeper. He knows Falksgard is the key to this right now. He's all up on him. Okore gets it out. Okay. 1 minute. Waste time. Slow down. Can we get a buzzer beater just for the hell of it? Can we knock one in and win 1-0 in the 95th? Okore? Oh, Corey puts it off the bar. Okay, we got the ball. Let's chill. Weimer, I swear to God, if you shoot. Oh, okay, now their keeper's coming alive. Okay, waste time. 30 seconds until promotion. We can taste it. Come on. I like this. This is good sportsman right here. Just some good old-fashioned time wasted. Whip it in. Okore can't get his head on it. Foldby keeps the ball. Oh, he got space. Heimer, I swear to you. Okay, that one was closer. That's it. We've done it, boys. We've done it. Promotion season is here. Year one, absolute disastrous game. Look who I was just speaking about earlier. Falksgard, 7-6 man of the match playing keeper. They had 8 shots on target to our 3, and he didn't let a single one go in. Now that is what I like to see. Promotion year one, we didn't think it was possible. I can't lie to you guys. I know we started off hot, but we quickly came back down to earth very, very quickly. And now we're here. We're here. Counting the guys on non-contracts, we have 17 people that are going to be out of contract at the end of the year. So that's a lot. That's a lot of people we're going to have to bring back if we want to bring back things like that. Yeah, this is some bad, troubling news. Julius Voldby is wanted by at least one club in the top division. Make that 2, and one of them being Copenhagen, our rival. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. As you can see, he's still locked up for 2 more years. He's absolutely on a fleece contract, 43 grand. But he's progressing well. 7 goal contributions and 17 starts. He started off terrible, but he's been doing good lately. And of course, he's 19, so he's got plenty more time. As you guys already know, we did finish in second. We did get the promotion. We both finished on 54 points, but who cares? We are going up to fight. And I mean fight to stay up, because next year is going to be an absolute challenge, especially since we can't really bolster the squad. We can't go out there and make big impact signings, loans, nothing. We just got what we got. And what we got, to be fair to you guys, is a lot of players that are just good for the third division. Don't tell nobody, but that's what a lot of the team's made up of. Neil Morsberg, who made 20 appearances, is good for the third division. So anyway, on paper, this year we did have a lot of good players. Falksgaard, who we were just talking about, he finished third in shutouts. Our defense, to be fair, isn't the best. So that was mainly just him being on the top of his head, going crazy. The Filipino international, who's from Denmark, born in Denmark, and played a few years in Thailand, funny enough. Now, again, he is up for a new contract. I'm not going to lie to you, as somebody who, he's 34, so he's got a few years left in him. But thing is, right, when it comes to him, I want to keep him simply because of how well he played this year and how well he just played in the last few games. We do have a few of them out of contract, and I'm going to let most of them go. I think I'm only going to keep around Falksgaard because, again, we need to start getting the youth a lot of game time, even if they're not really that ready. Because, again, it's all about developing these guys. They're not going to ever get ready unless we can give them game time. And in a save where we're not signing anybody else, sometimes we're just going to have to bite the bullet. So I think starting next year, Kim Hyman right here is going to be our backup. He might even play some cup games. Heaven forbid Falksgaard gets hurt. He's getting thrown into the Lions Den. And the Lions Den, indeed, since we're going to be in the Superliga. But, hey, man, sink or swim out here in a save like this. So anyway, Falksgaard will be coming back if he accepts. He played well. As you can see, Brito lost the Golden Boot race in the end, but still 15 goals, 6 assists in his 27 appearances, all being starts, and he rocked a 7.15 for his ratings. Hopefully, these all red down arrows are nothing but fatigue. It is what it is. I think he'll be good for the next season. I don't think he's going to really have too much of a fall off. I think we can get about 6-7 goals out of him in the top flight. Now, some other notable players, if we look by goals, is, of course, Emeka Namani, who played very well. We just offered him a new deal. Again, he was one of the many that were expiring. We offered him a new 2-year deal. He accepted, so we should be getting him. Him and Okore both at the beginning, towards like the middle of the season, they said they were going to, opt out. Obviously, with promotion around the corner, they decided, I'm okay to stay. Now, Nico Thompson, we showed you guys earlier, he was our third highest goal scorer with 8, playing mostly at the midfield. There was never any times we ran him at winger. I don't believe we've ever plugged him anywhere at fullback that I can remember off the top of my head. But as you can see, these physicals are going down. I believe he's already lost 1 in his pace. His stamina is going down, which is not good since it already wasn't great. But like we've said before, and like I'm going to keep saying, we got to keep what we got to keep. We got to keep players and we got to keep depth. So he's coming back. Now, Julius Voldby, again, we talked about him earlier. I know he has progressed. Let's see by how much. Actually, quite a lot when it comes to dribbling and a few other little ones here across the board. The fact that we could get his dribbling up to 12 from 10 is huge. He's got his pace. He has 12, 12, 15 in his Holy Trinity. I think he'll be good next year, honestly. Even if he's not a starter, I think he'll be good. And worst case scenario, which I don't want to do, but worst case scenario, if he does throw a fit about wanting to go, we can hopefully get about $500,000 out of him, which again, that won't matter in the transfer, but it will matter when it comes to this. We are now in the debt when it comes to the transfer balance, and that's not good. Or not transfer balance, but bank balance. Because without this being stable, we will not be able to invest into the facilities. And as we all know, if you play FM, over time, the facilities downgrade. And we need them to keep upgrading if we want to keep getting in good players through the intakes. So again, it all works on the other. A few more players I do want to show you, like I was talking about earlier, is Emil Moeller, a very good right back, especially for a team such as ours that doesn't really have much depth when it comes to the back line. So 4 goals, 3 assists, playing right back. Another one that I think can be very good for us next season, even in the Superliga. You know, he's not the greatest going forward, but defensively and physically, he's great, especially for us. On top of it, of course, Okore. We already looked at him earlier. He's going to be joining us back. He had a very good season for us, 3 goals, all off of the set pieces. So that's the team. That's the team that we're going to be going with. This is the team that we're going to be mostly bringing back. Now, some interesting people to keep an eye out for again. Let's look. Let's go back and refresh your mind before we jump to the next season and start it off. Casper Voss. Funny enough, again, he was born on Halloween and his name's Casper. So you already know we're going to be calling this brother Casper the Ghost when he's out there. 5'8", can play midfield, can play striker. I'm leaning towards striker just because he's so talented. But there's a chance that he drifts back a little bit and does play games for us at midfield, especially since that's where we're so thin. But we'll see what happens. It's just good to have versatility. Another one I'm extremely excited about, and one that I am so happy to report has been going crazy in his training, because all of these kids have been with the pro club training, is Michael Harlev. As you can see, in the U19 league, he has 8 goals in 9 games, 2 assists. So 10 goal contributions in 9, absolute monster. And I can't lie to you guys, I know it says he's only good for the 3rd division, but this is the guy I've been telling you about all along. I think, this might sound crazy, but I think we can see 5+ goals coming from him next year as a 16-year-old in the Superliga. So it's going to be interesting, but I think he can do it. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the first episode of this great series. We got to see the foundation of what we're going to be building here with all of the guys coming through the very first youth intake. They're going to be superstars for us, hopefully. So when we come back next episode, that one, honestly, we're probably going to do a little bit less check-ins throughout the season. Again, let me know in the comments what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, what's easier to digest it, what's better to watch, all that stuff. So next episode, we're going to start off season 2. We're going to go through it, see how we can do, see if we can hopefully stay up in the Superliga. And then, of course, we will check back in with the youth intake. Hopefully it's just as good as this first one, and I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you all again for taking a part of this journey with us. I can't wait to see what we can do with the mighty B93, and we'll see you next time for episode number 2. Take care.